Hi, I'm Dr. Ann Louise, and what time is it? It's oil pulling time. Oil pulling is a technique that's an ancient ayurvedic practice that I wrote about in my book, Fat Flush for Life. And little did I know that it would attract a major cult following. There seems to be something that's very attractive about the concept of swishing oil around in your mouth so that your gums are healthier, your entire system becomes benefited, and you find that your gingivitis disappears, as well as any other problems you may be having with root canals that are leaking, as well as cavitations. Those are those are holes in the jawbone after you've got a teeth pulled, or any other kind of bacterial problem that's going on in the little tubules in your teeth. So the concept here is quite simple. You take a little bit of oil, and it's about 2 teaspoons of oil, which is recommended. It's what I write about in Fat Flush for Life. You rinse out your mouth first thing in the morning so that you're able to get all that bacteria which is accumulated overnight. And without a lot of saliva, there's quite a lot of bacteria, which can be lodged in your system. Take 2 teaspoons of oil, you swish it around in your mouth. You pull it, which basically refers to the sense that you are pulling out all the bacteria from the nooks and the crannies and the crevices. And you do that for at least 15, or even more importantly, maybe 20 minutes. At least that's what some of the anecdotal reports have said. And after that, you will find that you will be spitting all that out, and that your saliva is very white. It's filled with all these little oxygen bubbles that will also be able to dispel and disperse the mucus, the toxins, and the bacteria that the oil pulling has pulled. That's where we get the term from your sinuses, sometimes your throat, as well as your gums. Now, there was a study that was published about this very concept, lest you think this is just folklore. And it was published in 2007 and published in a rather prestigious journal, which was the Journal of Oral Health and Community Dentistry. And it showed that oil pulling was a much more effective way to reduce gingivitis and to reduce plaque than either using a mouthwash or toothbrushing. And of course, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because when you read all the anecdotal studies, you'll see how it also is helped to heal certain kinds of problems that are related to arthritis, sometimes dark spots on your hands, people that haven't been able to sleep all through the night. It has a wonderful detoxifying and purifying effect for just a few teaspoons of oil a day. Now, the oil of choice, which is usually a question that's asked of me, is any oil that you have in the home. It doesn't have to be any particular kind of oil. I like sesame oil because it seems to be very light, but many of my followers use coconut oil, which they allow to liquefy at room temperature, and then they feel as if they're getting that antibacterial, antifungal, and antiparasitic quality as well from the coconut oil, kind of a triple whammy, so to speak. The way in which this works scientifically was defined by one of the gentlemen that I was able to research who wrote a book about oil pulling. And what Dr. Bruce Fife says is that when you put oil into your mouth, it has the ability to attract the fatty membranes that are surrounding the microorganisms. So it's almost as if the oil itself acts as a magnet for all these microorganisms that are swishing around in your mouth, and you're taking them out of the pores and tubules of the teeth so that you're holding them firmly in solution, and that the longer that you pull, then the more microbes are going to be pulled free. So this is something that you do on a daily basis. After you're finished with that 15 or 20 minutes, you simply spit out the oil, or you can put it in a little plastic container and disperse of it, perhaps a little bit more hygienically so it doesn't clog up your drains. And you're set for another day. Now, I read about this and then researched it and decided before I was going to write about it in Fat Flush for Life that I'd try it out, of course, on one of my staff members. And what we found out is that after 3 weeks of oil pulling, many of her dental pockets were reduced by at least 50%. She had many 4s and 5s. They came down to a 2 to 3. And to this day, our staff member is oil pulling. So for those of you that want an inexpensive way and an advanced detox technique, I say get into oil pulling. So are you ready, set, pull? This is Dr. Ann Louise saying, see you next time with sparkling teeth and a microbe-free mouth. Bye-bye for now.